So today we're going to talk about how to replace the actual igniter itself, the burner. This is a very simple task to do. Also, we're going to talk about how to replace the cradle front and back. It's kind of melting. I won't do it on mine. I'm just going to talk about it. Replace a drip pan, which is a very basic thing to do. But what we really came here for is the actual igniter itself. Burner, cradle. All right, so stick around and we'll see how to do it. But for right now, let's go ahead and test it out. You barely hear it or see it, but it's working. All it took is one try, one push. Hello YouTube, today we're going to learn how to change the igniter on our Weber Q2200. This is the exact same grill as a Weber Q2000, but the 2200 has a couple of upgrades. One of them is this thermometer up here, and the other one is our igniter is a push igniter, and this one has a battery inside of it, like so. So what this does is you would push it and leave it pushed a second, 2 or 3 seconds, whatever it is that you have to do, and it constantly sends the spark, and it just does it very convenient. It's very nice and soft to push. So those are one of the upgrades on this Q2200. Now, the reason why we're changing this igniter is because obviously there's a couple of things wrong with it that I found. So first of all, when we push on it, you can't hear the ignition, nothing happens. Second of all, as I disassembled it and checked it, there's a couple of things wrong with it. It looks like there is some corrosion, both on the terminals. Some of the actual connections here have broken, as you can see. So this is about 5 years old. So we need to go ahead and replace this. All right, we have a simple way of replacing it, but instead of replacing it for the same exact one, which is around $30-something on Amazon or Weber's website, I'll go ahead and include links to the parts. Now, if you want to go ahead and get this fancier version that came with the Q2200, you could do so, but today I'm going to show you how to downgrade or even upgrade. If you have a Q2000 and you wanted one of these, you could get it, or you could go back to the version that you had on the Q2000, which is this one right here. Let's see if you can see the spark as I ignite it. I think you could barely see it right there. It's similar to a spark plug, you know. It originates at one point and it has to exit the other, thus creating that spark. Now, when it's properly connected, that spark will go ahead and go over here and ignite your grill. So this is the parts that we're gonna go ahead and need today, and the tools as well. So we need a 3/8. I got this tool here. It's a little bit different than what you might have, but similar to it. It's just a 3/8 wrench. Need a slotted screwdriver. Now there's two versions on how to put this one. One's an older version and one's a later version. The later version, this one just goes on top, and this one screws in from the bottom. You put the washer and then the nut. In this case, I have this version, but Weber sends both of them, so it's nice of them. Now, technically, this one, the only reason why I'm downgrading is because my buddy has had a Weber grill for close to 10 years, and this thing still works. So I'd rather pay around $15 for what this is worth. Is about half the price, and I know it's gonna last a lot longer, and I really don't care if I have to push it a couple of times. I'm okay with it. Now, this is the push button igniter. The igniter electrode assembly is this right here. I'll show you how to change both of them. First thing we're gonna go ahead and do is remove our grill grates here. Depends on your grill. If it's a little bit greasy, you know, you might want to wear some gloves, up to you. I'll just do it with my bare hands. Now, I did clean this off. I do clean it, you know, every 6 months. Don't go too crazy on it. Just a little bit will take care of it. It'll get back to getting dirty when you start grilling, so it doesn't really matter too much. So let's go ahead and do this part right here. I got this one right here, which is a lot easier to do one-handed for me. Obviously, prior to getting here, we've already removed our gas connections. Let me make sure we properly did that so there's no risks involved while making these changes. So all you have to do is just go ahead and take it right off. This one attaches over here and to your gas over there. So what you're gonna go ahead and do is just take it off like so. Set it on the side. Okay, so it's time to remove the igniter. So we're gonna twist counterclockwise. Get this little push igniter right on the battery as well. Set it to the side. Now we have two tabs here and there diagonally, here and here. So all we're gonna do is get the slotted screwdriver, push them in, and take it right out. So at this point, we still have the connections in the back. So let's take a look at that. So, right there. All we gotta do is just kind of yank them out. I've already done this, so they're kind of soft, but there might be a little bit more stiff at the beginning, so you might need to use both hands to get in there. And this one, just pull it right out. Very, very simple, okay? As you can see, it's showing a wear of 5 years. Now, I will be replacing these legs as well, so that's why I actually have a spare part. So part of actually downgrading to the actual $15 version, or the one that comes with a Q2000. Now, where it fits in, it's diagonally across. That's the fancier one going for the Q2200. This one, it's gonna go up and down. So there's 4 slots. So we're gonna go ahead and use those slots right there. Now, as you can see, here are the tabs. Now, these tabs have to be removed from the back. So this will be inserted here. But if you had a Q2000 and you wanted to remove them, you would have to come from the back, not like I did from the front. Now, to insert it back in, all I do is grab it from the back, make sure it's in place, and just go ahead and pop it in there. And I don't even think you could hear the pop, but it just pops in there. Very simple. Careful pushing this with 2 hands and pushing it in and then grab it over here. You might get a little bit of a shock right there. So it's so easy, I could do it with 1 hand. That's one way of doing it. You could do it anyhow, any way you want. But now that we've got that one in there, we go back up here. Now, this is also very simple. So all we gotta do is feed them through here, through the hole that goes in there. Wiggle it, put it through. Now make sure this aligns with the hole right there, but not necessarily or exact. Right now, when we put it back together, we're gonna find out what we need to do. So, yeah, they're very close to a military base, so there's always planes coming through here. All right, so let's see if I can get this angled properly. There we go. Okay, so we got these connections again. Circle one goes right in the middle. Just like so. They're a little tougher right now when it's brand new, so just make sure you slide them in. Needs a little bit of force. And then goes the other one. Okay, so time to put the burner back in there. But this burner is kind of old already. And we got some wear right there, so we got a big flame coming out of there. And it doesn't look like it's gonna get any better. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is, boom, replace it with a brand new one. All right, so very simple way to do that is, this is where the actual gas goes through, and there's a breather hole right there, so there's a proper mix of the gas and air. So this goes in first, like so. Now it's gonna go right there. So make sure it's properly there. Once it's there, this one can twist. Do what you want with it. And now we have to align right there. Once that is aligned, we go back to our hardware. So I'm gonna keep the old one and just save the new hardware just in case I need it in the future. So once again, one-handed, just align it properly in there. Let me switch off to my right hand. All we gotta do is screw it in. Simple thing. Or use your slotted screwdriver. Use your wrench, whatever you like or prefer. Just hand tight. Go back in there. And we are pretty much done. Put your grill grates back on. Some of the older versions might have a single grill grate. I have one that breaks down in two. Okay, so if you stick to the very end of the video, that's because you need to replace the front, the rear, or in my case, both front and rear cradles right here. So these are right here. I know we've done our igniter and everything else, but I will not be changing this out today. I'll do it at a later time. But what happened is that they melted out and eventually they will fall. So I'm gonna wait till that happens. But you can buy these through Weber or through Amazon separately, and you can go ahead and change them out yourself. There's only 4 bolts that go in there. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they're up here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the back as well. In order to do that, you can use slotted screwdriver, okay, or you could use a T30. All right, using a T30 would probably be the simplest way. Now I can insert this bit here in my screwdriver, magnetic, very easy to use. Set it in there, and we can take it out like so, even one-handed. Very simple thing to do. Once again, I will include links here on the description. I'll leave some links for this Titan's torque bits. Favorite screwdriver here, which is magnetic. Now, this one right here also comes with an attachment for a 1/4 inch ratchet if you like, or anything else, favorite tool that you might have. Hey guys, thank you for watching my video. If you had performance issues with your Weber Q series grill, I hope my video helped you do it yourself as far as replacing the igniter, upgrading or downgrading, replacing the burner tube, and replacing the actual front or rear cradles. Now, if you do like the video, go ahead and push thumbs up. If you don't like it, go ahead and push thumbs down. And like I've mentioned, I will leave some links to the parts and tools that I use in the description. Thank you once again, and have a great day.